here. Mark's the announce table. It is only me and KMullins. First announcement of the day. We're going to try to do a not 24-hour live stream. We're going to try to do a live stream during the whole brand split. We're going to try to figure that out, how we're going to do that. Basically give our live reaction to that. What we think we're going to do with Mark's the announce table, it's going to become a weekly Thursday night or Friday thing. We'll talk about wrestling all throughout the week and what happened, because there's just so much wrestling in the week now.
There's literally the first 4 days of the week are packed with wrestling.
Yeah, but let's take a quick shot real quick on what just happened on Raw and all that, because it is a very awkward thing, to say the least, wouldn't you say?
It's very like, I wonder like if they just kind of like it was on the I feel like it was a very on the fly decision, because they didn't even like think about the lawness that could have been done with this decision.
Because it's the Cruiserweight tournament, which is going on right now, which announced that Stephanie McMahon will have full control of the Cruiserweight Division. Does that make any sense? No. Let me tell you why. Mick Foley's the general manager, and Steph is the commissioner. It doesn't, whatever.
And Stephanie spent her career making fun of the smaller wrestlers.
Yeah, so she's in charge of that. Daniel Bryan, of course, the general manager of SmackDown with Shane. They're a great couple going towards this. This will be beautiful of all get out. I think Daniel Bryan should have had full control of this Cruiserweight division. I don't know why they are giving it to Raw, especially with Mick Foley. They should just give him a hardcore division.
And the fact that Daniel Bryan, that they could tie it in, because Daniel Bryan does the color commentary for the CWC.
Yeah, it really makes no sense in my opinion. Really, they should have gave Mick Foley some lenient when it came to like a hardcore-ish division, not so hardcore in 2016. But, you know, Daniel Bryan, he's a smaller guy. He's a part of the Cruiserweight Classic staff team, I guess you could say. So he should be the guy, you know, really helping out with the Cruiserweights as a division in terms of on SmackDown. I'm going to say the only reason they're doing this is because of the whole 3 hours of Raw. Maybe.
Yeah, because you could literally devote so much extra time to the Cruiserweights.
Yeah, so I think that's how they're getting away with it, honestly. Other than that, it makes no sense in my mind. Any other thoughts on that before we go straight to the big thing, which is Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose with that whole situation?
Well, like with this, I'm taking everything right now, because really tonight's where everything's going to really start to take shape, because you're obviously going to see potentially even trades happen. You're going to see draft picks, obviously. We already know about there's going to be 6 selections made from the roster. No idea if it means 6 actual individuals or it means 6 picks, like a tag team is 1 pick.
Yeah, from NXT, right?
Yeah, from NXT, there's going to be 6 individuals taken, potentially just 6 picks overall, which means tag teams included. We could see a lot of different things take shape tonight. We could see returns tonight. That's one thing, as everyone's talking about, like all the views of NXT. We could see returns. We could see people drafted that we don't know.
Yeah.
Like we could see that we don't know, or like in talks of like coming back to the WWE or joining the WWE. They could really use this to completely shape everything.
Yeah, I don't know if we're overhyping it, because lately with WWE, that's, you know, the whole gist of things is we overhype it, something happens, then in the end.
And then also, like, I was seeing, like, on the network, they're running from 8 to 11. Like, they're running an hour after SmackDown. Like, they're running an 8 to 11, like, draft podcast thing on the network. Like, just basically, like, what, like, the NFL and NBA does, like, where they just talk about the picks.
They'll definitely have people, you know.
I'm wondering, do you think tonight's just going to be strictly the draft, or do you think?
See, that's the thing. This draft thing has to be. I hope they don't do it like how they did the old drafts, where it was like you wrestle a match and then a draft. Like, if this is an
Like, that's what
entire
I'm thinking.
roster, it has to be, you know, the
Like,
very
the only
first
thing I
style.
can see happening is if they do what they did with the very first back in 2002 with Ric Flair and Vince McMahon, where they have matches and stuff, because that was a 2-hour Raw back then, and they fit everything in, and they'll each have 10 picks through that show, and then because they have the network, especially right now, they'll go to the network for the rest of the draft, which will be after SmackDown tonight. I could see one of those few things happening, because there's no way. There's, like you said, there's 70-something people on this roster. Hello?
Yeah, well, I was just thinking, you got Divas, which is going to be cut in half, apparently, right?
Yeah, Divas they'll probably just cut that roster in half and give half and half to each side.
So who knows how that will even turn out? In my opinion,
And apparently there's only gonna be one women's title, so they're just gonna have, I guess, Charlotte for now is just gonna fluctuate between both rosters till she loses it.
I don't know how they're gonna make that work, because there's not enough Divas. They really need to call up a good bit of Divas. If
They need to call up almost all of them. I mean, honestly, I'd do away with the I'd like almost like revamp the entire Divas division down in women's division down in NXT.
Yeah.
I'd revamp that whole thing. Call everyone up right now.
Tag teams is another thing I'm concerned about, because there's just not enough interesting tag teams, in my opinion, in terms.
Well, that's the thing, is they just split up the Lucha Dragons.
Yeah, they really did.
They literally just put out that video yesterday where they just said, yeah, we're going to enter a single superstars and then more Lucha Dragons. So right now, I feel like that hurts Sin Cara.
That really does hurt Sin Cara. Like, it doesn't
Kalista, it doesn't, because he has a ton of momentum, because he has been on fire throughout 2016 so far.
Mm-hmm.
So he has a lot of momentum going right now. So I feel like he'll be fine. Like, I'd like to see, I feel like the thing is, I feel like they should both end up on Raw just because of that Cruiserweight division.
Yeah, because I don't know how that would make any sense.
To have a Cruiserweight on SmackDown when you're having the Raw division.
Yeah, especially when, I think maybe they should put Sin Cara on Raw, because maybe that will help him shine. And then this would give a good time for Sin Cara to do the whole singles mid-card title long run that he deserves. And it's awkward because this whole thing is awkward, in my opinion. But
no, you want to hear what makes it the most awkward? This rule is for every 2 picks that SmackDown gets, Raw gets 3, which that makes no draft sense.
No. Why? What?
So does it mean they come up and say, okay, you know what, we're gonna take 2 people right now, so you guys get to take 3 next? No. What kind of draft is that?
Does that even count with tag teams as 3 people then? Like, how does that even?
No, that's the funniest part, is certain factions are allowed to be drafted together. Like, you're allowed to draft the New Day together. You're allowed to draft the Wyatt family together.
The Wyatts is 4 people though.
Yeah, you're allowed to draft the Wyatts together, which is the weirdest concept. Like there's literally but you don't have to draft them together. It's the funniest part, because they said you can draft, if you only want one of the people, you can only draft them. So
it's almost like wrestling scripted.
What kind of slap in the face is this? That we just want this guy, and then they split up a tag team because only one guy is good.
They gotta keep some bit of kayfabe, in my opinion, of at least making this look like, they're gonna be surprised if the other person picked this person, or
I'm almost gonna say, I said it last night at the conclusion, which I'll actually wait till we talk about that. Yeah. But I think I already know who the first 2 picks are, and that's the 2 guys that main evented last night.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna be. It's really sad, in my opinion, though, because you think the two big things that are really gonna make me sad, but I guess it's for the best, is they're gonna split up Sami and Kevin. They're gonna split up Dean and Seth. So
yeah, I mean, I guess it adds to the whole brand warfare, which maybe we could see bragging rights come back or Survivor Series actually mean something again.
Yeah, so I mean, then at that point we could get another Sammy and Kevin, one-off match before they came back to the same brand or something of that effect. But I know it kind of won't be the same, especially because I think we'll also get a one guy gets Cena, one guy gets one gets Cena, one gets Roman effect.
Yeah, like I feel like there's gonna be a lot of splitting between the rosters, and it's gonna be very weird for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
Just because like Raw, honestly, like I know that I love Raw and everything, and I still do. As in carry the showtime.
What'd you say? You were cutting off a bit.
10 to 15 guys
Hello?
carry the showtime. The show's been just strictly about 10 to 15 different guys, rather than the 70 guys that are on the roster.
Yeah, and then if you start highlight this is like when you start highlighting people that literally were nowhere, like the whole Darren Young thing and the whole Zack Ryder thing out of nowhere, like and Titus O'Neil too.
That's another thing we were talking about. Like, what kind of world do we live in where there's a chance that at Battleground we could see Darren Young and Zack Ryder walk out of the pay-per-view as champions?
Like, nobody would have expected that. Well, then again, it's the WrestleMania effect, because no one saw that. But then he dropped it the next night, so
yeah. Like what? Like I hope if he does win the title again, please don't let it happen like that again.
Yeah. So
please don't let Rusev just completely like rip his head off his shoulders the next night on Raw.
Mm-hmm.
And this is gonna be. There's 2 more nights literally left of the entire roster being under one roof till SummerSlam, and then after that until Survivor Series.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got 2 pay-per-views a month. That's a whole nother time for a whole nother conversation.
Big question. Are they splitting up the New Day? Will this be the last time we see? Because I think they'll solidify it. Like if they do split up New Day during this roster thing, then it will solidify that this pay-per-view will be the last time we see the New Day as champions. We'll see them together, something like that. I really don't want that to happen. Really, really, really don't.
That's what I feel like. I feel like this pay-per-view honestly has a lot of buzz around it that has nothing to do with the card.
Yeah, it's just the possibility.
It could be the last time we see certain people under the same roof, certain people in matches together.
Yeah.
Like we know Chris Jericho is not very young. Like who knows how many years Chris Jericho honestly has left.
Mm-hmm. Do you think Chris Jericho is a top pick, by the way?
I don't know. I could see him maybe squeaking into the top 10. Like he could be a top 10 pick for one of the people, which means he's a top 20 guy.
Yeah.
But I don't see him as being like I don't see him being one of the first picks, just because like honestly like he's one of those guys that's almost like an afterthought anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the Big Show, like no one even thinks about Big Show anymore.
Yeah, Big Show's. I'll be really surprised if he's in the top 20 pick actually. I think they need to really draft those like number 1 contender guys first, in my opinion.
That's what I'm wondering. I'm wondering when they're gonna make the jump at the first NXT person.
Oh yeah, especially because I think Balor will be like the first one. Because I think it'll.
That's all we know. Balor's gone. We know more than likely Bayley's coming up. We know more than likely American Alpha's coming up.
Because I'm gonna say it's really stupid if they draft American Alpha or Bayley instead of Balor. Like Balor's got to be like a top pick in my opinion. You can't just be like, all right, we're drafting No Way Jose. Like what the heck? Why was he like a
number exactly
15?
That's what like I was thinking about this. Let me run a couple names by you. Shinsuke Nakamura.
I think he'll probably be a part of the draft. As oddly as this sounds, I think they definitely want to jump him up real quick.
He's one of those names that's weird enough because it's like, well, they could keep him at NXT, and they could make and they could build it like he could be the new building block for NXT.
Yeah.
or they could go, or because they could go with somebody else. Because honestly, the funniest part about this whole situation is if Nakamura goes up, and if Balor goes up, look at the top 3 guys in NXT after that point.
Aries, Joe, and Rude, right?
Rude.
Yeah.
Yeah, what coincidence. 3 TNA guys.
Wow, look at that.
Look at that.
That's beautiful.
Okay, but then another name. Who was another name? Todd Dillinger.
Ty Dillinger. I think he could get a part of this draft.
Because, like, the thing about it is they said 6 selections, and I was thinking 6 selections doesn't necessarily mean the top 6 guys in NXT.
Yeah.
It could mean Dillinger's a guy that they don't have anything for him to do in NXT. And the fact that, like, the rosters aren't always about having, like, you need to have certain new guys that don't need to be pushed to the moon immediately. Like, you don't need to push Dillinger to the moon immediately just because he's so over.
Mm-hmm.
His gimmick, like, you could just let him do whatever. Like, he doesn't need to be like, oh, we need to have this guy win constantly. He needs to be in a mid-card title race. You can just have him do whatever.
Do you think they'll push up like a guy like Austin Aries? I could see the possibility.
That's the thing is,
but...
I could see the possibility of an Aries. I could see the possibility of I could see a Tommy possibility. Although I don't know because he's been hurt for a while. Let's see. Like we've already said Bailey and whatnot. I could see the Revival maybe.
Yeah. Yes.
Because like it's again another team that like they have not they've already done everything they can in NXT. It's not like they can do anymore.
Didn't the Ascension get thrown around last night like that? Whole rumor mill.
Yeah, the Ascension got thrown around. The Ascension showed up in a segment actually with Mick Foley and Daniel Bryan.
Yes, so I don't know. I just hope that some of these like top 20 picks aren't gonna be like Social Outcast or something like that.
That's another group that could end up getting split up. Because I was thinking about it. Because the only reason the Social Outcasts were together in the first place is because they only had 2 shows and they didn't really like have like the want to focus on any of those at that time 4 guys on their 5 hours of wrestling they had in the league. Yeah. But now that they split the rosters, they can.
Yeah.
They could repackage any of them.
So is it a given that they're going to bring back this Cruiserweight title?
I think with the Cruiserweight division coming back, there's no point in having a Cruiserweight division without a Cruiserweight title.
Yeah.
It's like a toy without batteries.
It's true, though. Who knows what they'll do?
I mean, you can have all the exciting wrestling you want, but if there's no title to say, hey, I'm the best Cruiserweight, then you're just doing nothing. Then you're just doing it for nothing. You're just doing it for the hype, which is stupid. I feel like, but I do feel like the Cruiser originally, like I feel like it's not gonna have a belt, but once the Cruiserweight Classic's over, I feel like whoever wins that's gonna automatically go to Raw.
Mm-hmm.
Which lends the thing that, which it would surprise me then. And it means that we could potentially have Brian Kendrick win this thing. Just because he's the one that's 100% ready to take that Cruiserweight belt to Raw.
That's crazy.
Which it'd be stupid to have Brian Kendrick win that thing because for 100 other reasons. Maybe Cedric Alexander, because he's at least been like a couple of those guys I feel like could maybe all of a sudden get a push with the Cruiserweight title. Either way, it's gonna be exciting.
I'm trying to think of who they would have come back for this brand split.
It'd be a lot of, I feel like we're gonna see a lot of mid-carders come back. A lot.
Tajiri was one of them, right?
Tajiri is one of them.
Yeah.
I've heard Brian Myers, Kurt Hawkins name thrown around a bit.
That'd be weird because then the whole Zack Ryder thing, right?
Yeah, like that'd be a little weird. I mean, it would lead it to for at least a couple good segments where those two run into each other.
I'm trying to think of who else.
Let's see
If I was getting people back for this, but the thing is, it has to be long term though, right?
I mean, that's the thing is it could, but you could also see it be not long term.
Oh, Taker and Lesnar, all these like crazy guys who are occasionals, even Batista, I guess you could say. Where are they going? Oh, also Orton, where's he going?
Orton, I don't like. That's the thing is Orton's probably the surprise there because I do not know where. Like he could go. It depends on I guess Orton because the thing is when he comes back, what feel do you get when he comes back?
Is he gonna be a face or
is he gonna be a face or heel? Is he gonna be a guy that's just like a complimentary guy, or is he gonna be a top guy?
Because he left off as the top guy, feuding with Rollins and stuff like that.
Yeah, like he was a big time like player in this whole thing, and then he fell to the rash of injuries where it was almost like every week someone new was getting hurt.
Yeah.
So that's a big key for tonight. Like I said, they're gonna have a surprise or two in there. May not be anything monumental surprising, but I do have a feeling that there's gonna be one, if not multiple, picks of guys that are not currently on the roster and not being talked about.
Mm-hmm. Do you think they'll waste draft picks on occasional guys?
That's the very weird part of it.
I don't think they will. I think they'll keep those.
I feel like those guys will just go wherever they want to go.
Yeah, I think they'll keep them safe, and then we'll get a surprise like Heyman and Lesnar on SmackDown one day or something crazy like that. So.
Yeah, like I feel like because then you can fluctuate them in between everything. So then they're really occasional, as in like they could literally just face off against anyone you're trying to put in a feud with something.
Yeah. Do you think they need to make the World Heavyweight title come back or something?
Yeah.
Because of the whole
they need to have two world titles because I feel like that's a perfect moment to do that anyway. But I feel like having two world titles you need to because then it lets guys get that world title push that wouldn't necessarily get one. Because then we got the same situation going on where there's only like 6 guys that have a chance of winning this belt.
Yeah.
There's only about like a handful of individuals that could win this belt now at the current time because there's only one. If there's 2, like look at when we had 2 belts. Look at some of the guys that got the title. Jack Swagger.
And that's how we started pushing guys like Punk though too, and even Daniel Bryan.
That is like that's how they get that first run with that belt, and then they're like, okay, well this guy can do it. Then you move. It's almost like the stepping stone.
Yeah,
and I hate using that word, but it's a good stepping stone. It's not like let's eliminate the bad terminology out of that. It's a good stepping stone because you can prove, hey, I can hold this belt. Let me move because at the end of the day, the one that's the current title is always going to be the top one.
Yeah, I think the World Heavyweight title has always been more about the I am the wrestler, and then the WWE Championship is more of, all right, I'm the face of this company or whatnot.
Yeah, I am the superstar.
Yeah. I forget. Did they say they were picking announce teams also?
That's what they apparently had said that everybody's like because Joey Styles, the old ECW guy, he works for WWE backstage, and he had mentioned that everyone's eligible for this draft. Like he made it like known, like everyone's eligible. Any even announce teams could be picked.
That's weird.
I mean, is this how we basically say, okay, Jerry Lawler, you're gone?
Sorry, no one wants
See
to
you later,
draft
Jerry.
No
See you
one,
later, Jerry.
no one wants to draft you. It's sad. What else? What else? What else could happen during this whole draft thing? Because there's so many what ifs, and we like to overhype things. I don't know. That's just
Like,
the wrestling.
I'm telling you, like, I have a strange feeling about returns. Like, I'm staying away from Twitter and everything, staying away from the spoilers, just because this is one that I do not want to be spoiled on.
And it's the thing that spoilers tend to be true though nowadays because of the whole Daniel Bryan being GM. I don't think anybody was really too excited for it. Like, if you heard the spoiler, you were like, okay, and then you heard Mick Foley, you were like, well, like, that's great. Like,
yeah, that's the one that really surprised me, because everyone was thinking Triple H. Everyone was thinking Triple H.
Like, Steph was gonna go with Triple H. It's gonna be the authority show, and it wasn't. Like, wow. You know, and I think that honestly replaces the whole Bischoff, the Heyman, the William Regal, like guys like them who are, you're like, they'd be a great GM, but it'd be like, what are the chances of getting them? I think WCPW, when they announced that Bischoff would be going there, that kind of confirmed there's no way he'd be GM, right?
Yeah, like, I feel like that killed, like, the Bischoff rumor, because there was a Bischoff rumor that was picking up steam before that got released.
Yeah, and then once that got announced that he was going to the UK to do a tour or something in Newcastle, that, you know, automatically killed it, because why would he be spending time there if he's going to be doing a draft or whatnot? But that'd be cool. Mick Foley and Steph, that's a really...
Do you think Mick Foley's a long-term thing, or do you think Mick Foley's someone who will spend the summer there and then maybe right off in the sunset we get a new Raw general manager?
I think it would definitely last at least the summer. We might see a part where they get into it and then Trips comes back.
Because, like, that was another concept that we were talking about. 2 face general managers.
Well, yeah, we got the face and the heel general manager with Foley and Steph, and then we got the 2 face ones, which is Shane and Daniel Bryan. So they're gonna be more of the... I don't know if they'll ever butt heads. Like, that's kind of weird.
Like, they tried so hard to make Foley heel last night. Like, some of his mannerisms, like, and he called, like, Daniel Bryan Wee Man.
Yeah.
Like, they tried so hard, but he's too over. You can't just turn Mick Foley heel.
Thumbs up for the jet planes, by the way.
Yeah, that's the flyover.
Yeah, they're sending in the helicopter for the Shield because they're gonna return. They're gonna draft all of the Shield at once.
Please, please don't bring the Shield back.
All of the Shield is gonna come back at once. So,
do we get a Roman via satellite interview when he gets drafted?
Oh, no way! They better not freaking. That would be, because we haven't seen him at all yet, have we?
We have not seen him since his suspension, since it was announced.
That really kills his hype, in my opinion, too. By the way, guys.
Yeah, like right now, like, he's just kind of like there anymore. Like,
yeah, and
if they give him that title back at Battleground, I will be severely upset.
Yeah, like, it kind of says that it should not happen at all. Especially with the way that Seth has been really cutting these, like, shoot promos on him. Like, dang.
Yeah, like, and then they're letting him just rip into him.
Yeah, you know, freaking someone's like, just go give him a hard time. Like Triple H is backstage and he's like, you know that Samoan back there? And then Seth is like, yeah, my best friend, Roman. He's like, you're what? He's like, nothing.
Nothing.
And he's like, you're not friends.
I loved all the. I do have to say, I loved all the nostalgia Shield stuff they did last night, like with Seth coming down the ramp or coming down like the stairs.
Mm-hmm.
And then they had Ambrose pick up the camera backstage. I did like that stuff, but the Shield doesn't need a return.
No, I don't. Nah, they definitely won't do that.
Yeah, it's not like DX. That'd be a nostalgia act for humor and giggles and whatnot.
Roman Reigns, is he a top 10 pick? Is that a given?
Yeah, I see Roman Reigns will probably be a top 10 pick, barring anything crazy.
Here's a crazy one. AJ Styles in the club. Are they all in one, or?
That's what I feel like they're all going to be in one. I've heard multiple people, especially within our group on Skype, I've heard multiple people say that they could see the club going one way. Like, Anderson and Gallows are bound to stay together. They're going to stay together.
I think with Finn Balor,
That's the thing is, like, people were saying with Balor coming up, they could completely change all that whole system up.
yeah, because they could say, with Styles going one way
Like,
and Club going one way, they could have Balor come in and transition with the club, and they'd be like, "Hey, we're friends. Remember Japan?" And then way later down the line, you have Styles be like, "Hey guys, we're all in the same brand again. What about this Balor kid? Like, what about Styles? What about Club? What about me?"
that's what
Like,
I'm thinking about it like this also even too.
mhm.
Well, once they're picked, that means they're up on the main roster. That means that we could see Finn Balor appear Sunday at Battleground.
Yes. So, I forget who Styles facing again. He's
Styles and the club are facing Enzo, Cass, and Cena.
Yeah, because I didn't know if it was a 1-on-1 rematch or if it was another
Oh, it's a 6-man tag.
3-on-3. So, yeah, that'd be interesting to see. Maybe Balor slowly
Like
aligns with them.
maybe like they lose and then like Cena and Enzo and Cass win, and then there's like comes to like AJ arguing with those two, them two, like then Balor show up and turn heel.
Yeah, well, there's they could be like, AJ, you had us lose or whatever. Like you had us, you messed up or something crazy like that. And then, they say goodbye because they're going to a different brand or whatnot, and this is when Balor comes in. Maybe not Demon Balor, maybe just, corporate Balor.
Corporate Balor, ooh.
Yeah. I think he has to go to Raw, in my opinion. I think give Styles to SmackDown. Let him go crazy on SmackDown. Let him do whatever he wants. Do not give him that Cruiserweight division on Raw. Do not do that to Styles. Like, please. Styles is above that Cruiserweight division now. He needs to his main events.
He's not even a Cruiserweight anymore.
Is he? I don't think so.
I don't know. Like, he's a pretty big dude. Like, he's put on a lot of muscle, like, in the last, like, couple years. Like, from, like, the last time he was in TNA, he was pretty tiny, but, like, since he, like, went to New Japan and whatnot, like, he's put on a lot of muscle.
Yeah, he's got a lot more jacked. So, hopefully they don't put Balor in the Cruiserweight division also.
Yeah, I don't want to see certain individuals that I unfortunately see are potentially bound for the Cruiserweight division and this division. I don't want to see Balor or AJ in it.
I think the Cruiserweight division should be a good opener, lower mid-carder, rock of the house type of deal, and then let the mid-carders do their own thing.
Get the crowd going.
Yeah, let the mid-carders do their own thing for the US or IC title. Upper mid-carders have their own really unique feuds, and main event are always just, ending the show, rocking it, starting the show, stuff like that. So
yeah, they do need to split up the mid-card titles.
I'm trying to think of who else is a big one. Shinsuke Nakamura, if they do draft him, I don't know, it's up in the air. Who do you see him going to? Like going like what?
I could see Raw for the simple fact that him and Triple H are really like that's one of Triple H's like big time people.
I think he'll get protected on Raw. I think No Way Jose will oddly get drafted to SmackDown for some reason.
Unfortunately, I feel like No Way Jose is going to be one of those 6 selections.
Yeah, I think that would be a weird one.
Unfortunately, I feel like it'll be like, okay, well, we got one more NXT pick left, and it's fucking No Way Jose.
I think Ty Dillinger maybe will get a shining spot with Raw on the Cruiserweight. So
yeah. Who's another name? Like, let's think into this.
Because how many are we up to? What, 4 with those guys?
Well, okay, we got Balor.
Well, I mean, maybe Alpha, maybe American Alpha and the Revival. Maybe that's the final 2. If that's the
I can see Alpha. Yeah, that could be Alpha and Revival, and we're good.
Well, there's also that weird thing. Maybe they don't draft revival. Maybe they do Bailey, because you gotta have. I think you have to have Bailey now. Like, this is, you've missed so many opportunities to have Bailey in there. This is one of, like, slowly becoming one of the last times.
I feel like that's another thing. Like, you could have Bailey get drafted, and then Bailey be that mystery partner at the pay-per-view.
Well, didn't they kill that rumor, or Sasha Banks kill that rumor or something like that?
About what? Like, did she kill it?
There's something on Twitter that she put. I gotta find it. But let's take a look real quick. Let me pull up the NXT.
I've heard Nia Jax too.
That's way too early. I mean, I can't.
It's way too early, but I've heard Nia Jax.
Look, I can't complain with Dana Brooke, because she was way too, like, she was the earliest person you could have picked up, like, even earlier than No Way Jose, in my opinion. So, alright, so on whatculture.com, here's their 6 predicted people. Mojo Rawley, with Zack Ryder, maybe that's a good thing. Nia Jax, that's a possibility, hopefully not. Shinsuke Nakamura, that's a good possibility. America Alpha, I hope that's a given, in my opinion. Bailey, I hope that's a given. And Balor, I hope that's a given. So, for the most part, I agree with them. Mojo Rawley doesn't make a bit of sense, but, I mean, hey, they could do anything. But let me check up NXT's roster on the WWE.com.
Yeah, I was just about to NXT.
Alright, there's this picture recently taken of Balor, Bailey, American Alpha, and Shinsuke Nakamura. So maybe that's, you know, 4 picks, 5
alluding
picks,
to it.
Yeah, because I think, you know, Bailey's, I hope she's a given. Balor's the number 1 given, right? Shinsuke might be. Shinsuke is not green. Shinsuke is way over with the crowd. He doesn't need a NXT title. Maybe this is how they throw him in the IC title, right? Just let him beat the freaking crap out of Miz, like, or Darren Young, or whoever's champion, like, kid Sasha to the face, like, because I think they'll give Shinsuke a great mid-card title run, in my opinion. They won't throw him in the main event scene yet. They'll let him work on his, you know, American mic skills and figuring that all out. Other than that, who else?
I don't see anybody. Maybe Asuka.
No, they're not gonna throw her up with the women. Dana Brooke would, like, run back to NXT.
Dana Brooke was. Then we can send Dana Brooke back to NXT.
Yeah. So Shane McMahon.
Dana Brooke will hide in the corner.
Shane McMahon just announced that there will be a WWE title rematch on SmackDown Live.
So there's gonna be at least one match. That's kind of cool. Like, that's building the hype for tonight.
The WWE World Heavyweight title match, whatever you want to call the title. The black and gold belt, right?
Yep.
The very awkward belt looking, but so I think, yeah, Joe will stay on NXT. Austin Aries will probably stay on NXT.
That's why, like, I can't really think of anyone other than we've already mentioned.
I like their new website layout, by the way. It's very nice.
I do.
Because you can, like, sort by, like, NXT. Andrade, Cien Almas, that is, of course,
La Sombra.
La Sombra, yep, I just hit my microphone, sorry. He's not going to be coming up. Blake and Murphy,
I think they just broke them up on NXT.
They broke them up, yeah. They would not be coming up, probably. Carmella,
They might get released.
Carmella might not come up. Elias Sampson, I could see him coming up, actually.
That was one of those names I was looking at. Like,
yeah.
It intrigued me.
Who else?
Because it's almost on that Dillinger level. Like, he already, like, has a really good gimmick. Like, he already gets a pretty good reaction with the crowd. He's good in the ring, and, like, you don't need to push him immediately, like, to the moon.
Yeah, that's pretty much it, actually, in terms of in terms of everybody on this NXT roster, which there actually isn't that much, it looks like, but I feel like there's a lot more. Like even Zack Ryder's on the NXT roster list. Like what? So, wasn't there a big rumor on like Tommy Dreamer, by the way?
Tommy Dreamer's one of those names getting floated around there.
So I recently saw Tommy Dreamer in person. I don't know.
You should have asked him.
I did. I was just trying to take a picture, and that was already $10. So.
Oh, wonder how much he would have charged you to give you the spoiler.
I'd be like, for $50, I'll tell you what brand I'm not going to. Yeah. And then he's like, $50, I'll tell you what other brand I'm not going to. So. I think. Anything else you can think of?
I'm trying to think of names that could potentially return tonight. Like names that could potentially be like, okay, well, you're gonna be back in the WWE.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely see a bunch of older cruiserweights coming back.
Yeah, like Tajiri and who's another one that
Jimmy Wang Yang.
Jimmy Wang Yang, yeah. He's
definitely
not a top 20 pick.
He's late in the draft. Like he's like okay, we'll take Jimmy Wang Yang.
This draft has to be a long thing, in my opinion.
I feel like that's why I feel like part of it's going to be on the network, which is I'm glad I paid $9.99 a month because everyone should when you get content like that. Like last night when we found out, like, because if you didn't have the network, you found out after that very confusing end of Raw that the title was a draw instead of Seth Rollins winning.
Yeah. I think honestly the draft should have been on the network. It should have been network exclusive. It should not have been.
That's what when they first started talking about the draft, I figured, we're gonna have like a 4-hour network exclusive.
They're just pulling in that SmackDown revenue probably though, because they know the viewership will be crazy.
They're gonna jump this. Like the viewership's gonna be nuts tonight.
Yeah, but then again, there's high expectations for SmackDown. Like if it's not just an entire draft, what it sounds like we're actually gonna have matches. They said, the title rematch. That's big expectations wrestling wise too. You can't just have a make Darren Young great again segment. Like you're actually gonna have a lot of good stuff besides this draft if they're gonna.
We got a title match tonight.
We're not gonna have shining stars. So.
Yeah, we can't just have a bunch of vignettes of stuff like people standing behind in front of a green screen.
Raw or SmackDown? Who do you think is gonna get more of the important people? Or do you think it's going to just be equal with the filler guys going to Raw?
SmackDown needs more important people because they have 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Raw can deal with having a few of the unimportant guys because it's like, okay, you can literally give some guys some time because you have a whole extra hour to do shit with.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can literally just be like, okay, we haven't seen you on Raw in a while. Go out there and have a match.
Yeah. Go face Shinsuke Nakamura. So, I think that's pretty much everything I can think of in terms of this draft and how it will go down in terms of my opinion. People coming back, getting drafted, state of the tag team, women's division, factions, state of NXT.
NXT is going to take a massive hit tonight.
NXT is going to take a massive hit tonight, in my opinion. Women's division.
Like that means that the thing about that is it gets me very excited for who they're potentially bringing in.
And like Asuka, Asuka's going to have to really carry that women's division and help train them, in my opinion, because even if Nia Jax gets drafted, also like.
Then that leaves Asuka and a bunch of very green divas.
Yeah. What else? Tag team division for NXT could completely get eradicated tonight. So.
Yeah, they could take the only 2 tag teams worth anything.
main event scene though, they're pretty safe. I'm gonna say they're really safe.
Well, like I said,
even if it
they're safe. I mean, all they have to do is go over to that brand down in Orlando, nab a couple of their guys, and they have more main event guys.
Yeah, they need to hit up that Billy Corgan.
They need to go talk to good old Uncle Billy.
Uncle Billy. Yep. Be like, hey, can I borrow your DJZ? And who else can I borrow for a cruiserweight, stuff like that. So.
I see you, Derek Bateman.
Yeah, you want to come back? Galloway.
Lotus Clay, where you been?
Where you been, my friend? Oh my gosh, what if they? That kind of makes me wonder, like, what if, you know, what if people
like I'm telling you
jump back?
Like, if someone on TNA jumps back tonight, that will be the biggest shocker of the night.
That would be crazy, like a freaking.
That, like, I don't care who it is. Like, it could be even like someone as little as Tyrus.
Yeah. That would be crazy.
And I would just still be shocked. It would shock me.
So, alright, I think that's everything, everybody. Of course, we'll try to do the live stream tonight, and we'll see you all